Hello, I'm the Review Reviewer. You review it, I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. Patreon requested review today, the Movie Explorer's review of Pinocchio in Outer Space.
I know what you think of me. I do.
Me. It's true. One time, Dr. Risano tried a mind-reading device on us, and when he got to it... What do you mean, no service?
You think he's a fraud, a sham, a phony. He sure talks a big game about reviewing bad movies, but what's really bad about the movies he's reviewed?
Hey, everyone has their own idea on what constitutes bad.
Please note the number of animators that worked on this movie. A staggering total of 2.
Honestly, that's kind of impressive.
But then, little by little, the old Pinocchio began to return. At last, he had grown so much like his old self that one morning he awakened to find himself once again a puppet.
In other words, they pressed the reset button on the plot. That's convenient, particularly if you're a lazy writer.
I think the real issue here is, if they were just gonna do that anyway, then why not just make this a new retelling instead of a sequel?
Mars is 35 million miles away. I wish school were 1,000,000,000,000 miles away.
Not to turn this into spot the scientific errors, but it's pretty obvious that the writers of this film never heard of a little thing called apsis. In other words, the distance of Earth relative to other planets varies, depending on where it and said planets are in their respective elliptical, not circular, orbits.
Ah! I'm learning!
So Geppetto's lecture about the importance of education is interrupted by a TV report that... Hang on a minute. TV? Last I checked, Pinocchio took place in the 19th century at the soonest.
And yet you complain about their understanding of the universe.
The next morning, oh, make up your mind already. Is this movie set in the modern day, the Industrial Revolution, or the Middle Ages? You can't have it all 3 ways!
Me.
Oh, precious anti-1980s serum. If only you were effective against more than just parachute pants, Simmons drums, and Aquanet hair. Because there exists no serum to protect me from the evils of this movie.
How does one make that?
Pinocchio sees his chance to hypnotize Astro the whale by hitching a ride with him. Pinocchio hops on board, of course, because he's already broken his promise to Geppetto. Why not twist the knife counterclockwise and...
To be fair, he's trying to do a good deed.
Yes, I don't think anyone ought to be surprised by the lack of internal consistency in this film's narrative by this point. In fact, it's an act of sheer pointlessness on my part to even point it out anymore.
So, does that mean you're giving up?
They fly around, and fly around, and fly around some more, and eventually land. So now, can something happen?
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
At one time, there may have been a lot of oxygen in the air. Not anymore.
Teddy Roosevelt!
Oh my god, that's who you remind me of.
You know, I think I figured out what this film is. It's a punishment, or a threat. You know, kind of like my brother uses to discipline his kids. So help me, if you children aren't on your best behavior this afternoon, I'm taking you all out to see Jack and Jill! No!
I'll be good.
I think even threatening that requires a call to child services.
So they follow the radiation tube. Oh, now the background artist starts showing effort?
You'd rather they not at all?
There's something moving back there in the shadows, but I can't quite make it out.
And it's at this point in the film that any kids left in the theater just wet their pants in terror.
Kids, nothing! I think I wet my pants!
And what happens to the Martian mutants? The sand filled the tunnel and the nuclear reactor that was mutating them, and... That's right, at the height of the Cold War, they decide to end their Martian adventure with a giant mushroom cloud. Sweet dreams, kids!
I'm sorry, you're right, but... I'm just focusing on how well that was animated. You said it was 2 guys, right?
Meanwhile, in the gynecologist's office...
Me?
The blast from the whatever you call it kills Pinocchio. I'd be sad, but why bother when we all know that Kathy the magical Deus Ex Machina fairy is going to restore him to life and turn him back into a real boy?
Well, probably the same reason as you were supposed to in the Disney version, but there they actually gave us reason to like him.
Also, is it too much to ask for a little consistency in tone? Take my movie reviews, for example. I always take great pains to make sure that the tone is always lighthearted and whimsical. What? You? No! I left you for dead in the Olympic rainforest! You can't be alive!
Wow, that was awkward. Anyway, this review is fine, I guess. I like the idea of the movie explorer's aesthetic, but it doesn't seem to be utilized, at least not in this review. He has a chance to do something unique with review shows, but without the outfit, it's just a basic movie review. Not bad, but not really good either. I'm the review reviewer. You're good, I review you.